Right, everybody, welcome along to the Legit Crypto Lounge, the place that brings together real projects with real people. Today, we're joined by the team behind RENTEEZ. So in terms of the structure for the next hour, we'll meet the team behind the token, find out a little bit more about the project and what sets it apart. Then we can have a look through the tokenomics and run through the pre-launch and launch structure. So Chris from RENTEEZ, before we get into the detail about the project itself, it would be great to understand a bit more about the team behind the token. So if you wouldn't mind giving us a quick intro in terms of who's in your team, what your backgrounds are, and areas of expertise, that'd be great.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Yeah, so a little bit. I'll just kind of go person by person for a brief overview. Myself, RENTEEZ is an online property management platform, and where that idea was birthed from was being in the real estate world. Myself, I'm a real estate agent currently. I've been buying and selling houses for 10 years now. And then I've been, I was a residential electrician for 6 years before I was a real estate agent. So I've been on the maintenance side, the repair side, the buying and selling side. I own rental properties myself. So yeah, pretty experienced in the real estate world. And then I've been trading, I've been trading crypto for about 10 years as well. So I had some Bitcoin, quite a few Bitcoin back when it was nice and cheap. And you know how that story goes. Mm-hmm. You sell it when when you need some money, and now you're kicking yourself for it. But yeah, so I've been around for a while in the crypto world as well. As far as the team goes, we've got our two other founders. Oh yeah, you got it pulled up there. Kyle Robertson. I brought him on because he's pretty high level when it comes to the rental industry. He owns 96 rental doors. So, and that's all across the United States. He's got them in multiple different states. And so he really knows the ins and outs and the fine print and all that stuff when it comes to property management. And he's a very, very business savvy guy. He started multiple startup companies. And so I brought him on for some guidance in that department, and he's just a good guy as well. Matt Vitellero, our other founder, he's an operations guy. So he was actually a military veteran that served in Afghanistan for 8 years. He was in charge of a lot of people there and a lot of really important things. And so he's kind of just a get it done type of guy. Brought him on to kind of lead the operations once we're up and running. And then Denny there, our product manager, he's worked on multiple software companies, startup companies, software development, basically anything in the software world he's been a part of. So got a lot of good experience on the team. And then our dev team on the property management side is Think 2099 is the name of their company. They're based out of South Africa. Yeah, they're down at the very bottom. They're based out of South Africa. So they actually developed the premier crypto wallet in Africa. It's called Yellow Card. So just a top-notch development team. And we went through our bumps and bruises trying to find these guys, and, you know, trying to bring in freelancers and things like that. And just decided that, hey, we're, you know, to make this product what it needs to be, we're going to bring on a high level team. And that's exactly what those guys are. And then Brew Labs on the left there, that yellow icon, they are our contract creators. So they developed our smart contract with the tokenomics and all that. And they are partnering with us on multiple other portions of the project as well. And they just know the ins and outs of anything crypto related. Obviously, you've got auditing there, engineering, token bridging, you've got staking, farming. They basically anything in the crypto space, they can make it. So yeah, again, top-notch guys. They're out of Australia. Yeah, they've been pretty paramount for our success so far. And so yeah, that's kind of the rundown of the team.
Nice. Okay, so are you in this? You mentioned about your properties and stuff. Is this going to be full time for you? If you got other interests?
So it will be. So that was actually one of the things that is really good about our company structure, I guess, is all three of the founders are very established in their careers. And so we're going to be able to have a revenue generating product with zero debt, which is pretty unheard of for a startup company. So myself, like I said, I'm a real estate agent, which allows me to be pretty flexible with my schedule. Kyle was a fire lieutenant for 14 years, but he actually retired, and he retired because of his rental income. Mm-hmm. And then Matt, our operations guy, is currently a regional manager for Love's Truck Stops. And his plan, once we are up and running, is to transition out of that to be a full-time RENTEEZ guy. So, yeah, we feel like we're set up pretty well for immediate and future success.
Nice. Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. Do you want to give us a top level overview of what you're creating then within your platform?
Sure. Yeah. So we're creating an online property management system. So software, sorry. It's technically it's called a software as a service. So it's not a downloadable, it's all web-based or cloud-based, I guess. And yeah, so landlords will be able to create a profile, list their rental properties. Tenants will be able to create a profile and search for those properties, and they'll be able to apply through our website. Landlords can do tenant credit checks, rental histories, all that stuff, and then all the tenant screening. And then once they're in a relationship, the entire landlord to tenant relationship will be able to be done through our website as well. So that's collect rent, doing maintenance repairs, any communication that needs to be done can be done through our site as well. And so kind of a one-stop shop for the property management. And where the crypto comes in is we've created a cryptocurrency where tenants and landlords will be able to stake their rent. So say a tenant, they get their paycheck, say on the 21st of the month, and their rent is due on the 1st. So they've got a little bit of time. So they convert it to our RENTEEZ coin, stake it, and then set it up with an automatic payment. And that automatic payment, it'll pull from the staking pool, convert back to US dollar, and then pay the landlord, and they'll be left with the rewards. And on the landlord side, you can stake as well. So you say, like with my rental property, I make about $600 to $700 a month in profit. And so what I plan on doing is using the platform and collecting rent and then paying my mortgage out of that and leaving the profit that I've made to earn rewards through RENTEEZ coin. We've got quite a bit of extra stuff that we can go into, but that's kind of the baseline stuff of what we do.
Okay, so before we get into the detail, then where are you at in terms of the development of the platform? Is that ready to go now, or is it still under development?
Nope, still under development. We've got a target date of mid-June for launch of that. Okay. Yeah, so that's where we're at for that.
And how long have you been on developing that up to now?
So with this current development team, we've been doing it for about 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yep. So looking at then, I'm imagining I'm a tenant and I want to stake my tokens, my RENTEEZ, so that I can stake them and earn from that. Obviously, with the way crypto works, with the way it fluctuates so much, is there not a massive risk to the tenant of staking those coins?
So that's been probably the number one question that we've gotten. So in the very beginning, when we thought of this idea, that solution didn't necessarily come to mind right away. But in the meantime, we've come up with a pretty good solution to that. And what we're going to do is set up an optional stop loss function.
Okay.
So yeah, so the tenant can choose that option where if it fluctuates within 5% of a downcrease, it will automatically withdraw and unstake, unstake and convert back to US dollar.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. I was thinking otherwise, for the sake of the value that you're going to get with those extra few days and stuff, potentially all of a sudden next month you can't pay your rent. So
that's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then what's the benefit from a landlord's point of view in terms of coming onto your platform as opposed to any of the others on the market?
Well, from the crypto perspective or the property management?
Well, I guess both, to be honest.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the reasons we created this was because we did we did a lot of research beforehand, and if you try to look up online property management companies, you're not going to find very many, and the ones you do tend to have an ease of use issue. So we've actually had a lot of product research done by our upcoming beta testers, that the general consensus on that is ease of use is an issue. There's too many buttons to click. The website's too busy. It's just hard to use. And so we believe that the model that we're putting together is very user friendly, very easy to use. And even from the crypto standpoint, landlords that, say they're older, because that's a big demographic for landlords, is they're tend to be, in their 50s, maybe even 60s, that age. And we all know that age tends to be a little resistant to crypto. So we kind of wanted to set it up to where, hey, they got to click 2, maybe 3 buttons to get their funds into crypto and start earning rewards, because they might not like crypto, but they like making money. That's the reason they're a landlord to begin with. And so we want to present it that way. And again, follow that ease of use model. Another thing too, really quick while we're on it, is we are doing what's called a gamification model. um, which there's not a single property management company in the space that does this. So we're going to reward landlords and tenants for doing everyday tasks. So as a tenant, paying your rent on time, say for 3 months in a row, will earn you some levels or points. We're working on whatever model that's going to look like as of right now, but they're going to earn rewards or points, and that's actually going to kind of help with client retention. Mm-hmm. So it's equivalent to, if you've got two coffee shops, say you've got a Starbucks on one side and a Dunkin' Donuts on the other. If you've got a punch card to Dunkin' Donuts, you're going to go to Dunkin' Donuts whether you like the coffee over at Starbucks more or not. You know what I mean? You're building something, right? And so you're building theoretically a lasting relationship with that gamification model. What we're actually kind of excited about for that too is we've created an NFT marketplace. Brew Labs has helped us out with that, and we're going to have different NFT packages that kind of play into that role as well. Yeah, it doesn't click when the link is okay. So we've had a couple things that we've had to tweak, and so it should be up and launched in the next, I would say, day and a half. So I was up until about 1:30 in the morning with Brew Labs last night trying to get it launched, but we just couldn't get there. But yeah, so we're gonna play.
Is there a utility behind this behind the NFTs then?
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
Okay.
So yeah, we with the utility that we have on the property management side, we've got so many different avenues that we can give advantages to for purchasing those NFTs. So like tenants, we'll have a package that allows tenants to get 10% off. Well, it's not an exact figure, but something like 10% mm-hmm. off of their rental insurance coverage that they have. Landlords will have a package that they can buy that gives them 10% off subscription price. We've got NFT packages that will give promotions for potential first-time home buyers from the tenant side. So we've got just a limitless amount of potential for the NFT packages, and that's the reason why we created that marketplace. So.
Nice. Yeah, I think those types of things will definitely help set you apart and stuff. I like the idea behind the NFTs and the utilities linked to them and stuff. And I really like the gamification element. It'll encourage landlords as well to come onto your platform when they know that their tenants, your tenants, are getting rewarded by being good tenants. Yep. It's gonna help it all around, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and it's actually going to create some free advertising too, because so say a tenant, gets to level 50 or something, whatever. They have a bunch of badges on there that say, hey, they paid their rent for 2 years in a row on time, and they filed a successful maintenance request, and they got their deposit back because it was so clean, and all this stuff, right? They're going to be able to use that as a referral for their next rental property. So if the landlord that they're going to next doesn't use renteez.com, they'll have that available to them to either send them an email or print it out and show them and say, listen, like, look at this. This is what I've done. This is what you can do. And that'll just kind of act as a free advertising model as well.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yes, that would be good. Going back to the staking, what are you looking to do? Is this like a fixed APR or variable?
So it's going to be variable. And the reason for that is I've seen too many projects set a fixed APR and then they're not able to pay it. or they either do pay it and they tank themselves. So we're actually setting up a profit share model where in those pools, we'll actually reinvest that money on the back end and pay a profit share model, where it's going to be like an 80-20 split of a profit share model, where the tenant or whoever is staking is making that 80%, and we're just taking a little bit off the top of that 20.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, I mean, that, you know, that's a more sustainable model, but unfortunately you can't really give hard numbers with that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And will that be rewarded in your native token, or are you looking to do BUSD or something else?
Yeah, as of right now, it's going to be rewarded in the native token. We might offer some different rewards later, but as of right now, it'll be the native.
Okay, fine. And so when we're looking at your platform and launching it, you're all US based, aren't you? So I take it that's where you're focusing your launch strategy.
US based for right now. Yeah, we kind of have a model of business growth. We do plan on expanding overseas, but we want to really make sure that we're locked down and have a good quality product before we try to get too big too fast. So it'll be just US based for now.
And have you got a plan in place for marketing? So obviously it's not traditional crypto, is it? You're looking to onboard the average person, aren't you?
We've kind of got a two-headed beast as far as marketing goes, you know, because you've got, well, it's kind of been fun because we haven't really marketed the property management portion yet because it's not up and running, obviously. But the marketing that we've done in the crypto space has actually generated quite a bit of interest from the property management side. Some landlords, but mostly tenants that are like, oh, shoot, I can make money on my rent, you know, and do it that way. And so it's kind of garnered a little bit of interest. But yeah, as far as marketing goes, I'll kind of just share a brief overview of both sides.
Yep.
So post launch, like I said, pre-launch, we've done, or pre-sale, we've done a ton of marketing. We've spent a lot of money and we put a lot of time and effort into it as well. I think, like I said, I think I'm on my 16th AMA, and then I've got 3 more between now and the pre-sale. And yeah, so I've been on a tour, man. That's it's been fun, but it's been daunting. My wife's ready for that part to be over, but
I can imagine.
Yeah. But no, so post launch, we've actually got a plan for marketing, and one of those plans is a company called Branch. They're a relatively newer crypto company where they have a kind of an interesting platform where you list on their platform, you get a 1-week listing, and you're competing against, say, like 5 other projects. Then you drive people to their site and purchase their token. Well, there's a tax on that token. And the tax that's brought in from all 5 projects is then rewarded to the winner at the end of the week for the amount of votes that it gets. So it's kind of an interesting concept there, but basically it's not free advertising, but kind of a post-launch advertising, and that tax money goes straight into your liquidity pool. Okay. So they just purchase your token. So pretty good marketing thing there, and I'm interested to try it out. But then we've also got some products that we'll be rolling out between now and the launch of the platform that we're pretty excited about as well. So that's the crypto side. And then in about a month and a half, we'll start, well, maybe not even a month and a half. It's creeping up on me, but we'll start marketing for the property management side. And we've got a lot of really good contacts. Kyle is very involved with, I don't know if anybody has heard of Bigger Pockets. So it's a podcast that is specifically designed for landlords and tenants, like anything and everything rental related. And he's got a pretty good in with them. And so we're going to start by advertising with them, and then we'll do some general Google targeted marketing as well. So.
Okay. And going back to Kyle, you said that he's got 96 properties at the moment. Will he be looking to onboard his properties to your platform?
Yeah. Yep. So we're going to do beta testing with, I think we're using like 20 of his doors for beta testing, as well as all the other, I think we have 10 other beta testers in different states that are going to work with us. So he'll start with 20, but then he'll migrate. He'll migrate all of his doors eventually.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good base to start off with.
Yeah, 100%, definitely. Yeah, it's a decent number to start off with. And do you have targets in place? So, number of listings that you want to achieve, say by the end of the year or anything like that?
Yeah, we do, and I'm actually curious. I don't think I put it on the pitch, or I don't think I put the pitch deck on the white paper. Did I?
No, I didn't see it. No.
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, so we've got some projected numbers. I'd have to look off the top of my head. I don't know if I know them, but I think our goal was by the end of our first full year of operations that we'd like to be at 1,000 landlords. And we think, 1,000 doors. So 1,000 rental properties by the end of the first year. So that's our first year goal. And then we expect 10 to 12% growth per month from there on out. Okay.
And in terms of, so how you guys make money is through the platform, through your percentage. How does that look in comparison to your competitors? What do you charge as a percentage fee?
Yeah, we've got a subscription model that we do. So it's a base fee. I think we landed on $49 a month. And then that's up to 10 doors per landlord. And then it's a $2 a door fee after that. So, which is pretty comparable to our competitors. And then tenants aren't paying anything on their end. That is going to create more of an issue than anything else. We've seen some of our competitors have that model, and that is like the number one complaint.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so tenants typically don't have as much money as landlords, so try to keep as many fees away from them as possible. So and that's where we're generating revenue. The crypto side, just to let you guys know, we, like I said before, we're pretty established for our incomes and our careers and stuff, and so we actually, the owners are only going to hold about 6% of the total token, and that's split between 3 people. So it's a very small amount in comparison to most projects.
So which, by the way, what was that again? Sorry, 6% between how many people?
Between 3 founders.
Okay.
So that graphic that you have there, that was produced by Brew Labs. It's not the actual, and I think we even put a disclaimer up at the top there. It's not actual numbers. There's some that are accurate on there, but it's just a table that kind of shows the calculation that goes into it. and so some of those numbers have changed because obviously you don't know how your pre-sale is going to go. You don't know how your private sale is going to go, all that stuff. So those aren't exact numbers, but it's a general what we plan on allocating to certain things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. But looking at things like these brew lab fees, 0.6%, and then pre-sale fees, are they set in stone?
Can you zoom in on that part? The brew lab.
So if we look at brew labs inputs, you've got here a pre-sale fee from currency raised 2%, pre-sale fee from issued tokens 2%. Is that agreed with them?
No, we're not even running our pre-sale through them. Yeah, so they must have tried to sneak that in there or something. No, so we're running our pre-sale through Cookie Sale. Oh, you know what? I know what that was. Okay, so we originally were going to run through Pink Sale, and Pink Sale takes a 2% cut.
Yeah.
At the end, yeah, and so that's where that was. And Cookie Sale, who was launched by Cody, is just a top-notch platform for pre-sales, and so we decided to go with them, and they don't charge that 2%.
What do they do? They charge a percentage?
They just have it. They don't do a percentage. They just do a flat B&B fee.
Okay.
Which is really nice, because then you don't have to worry about it jacking with your tokenomics and your allocations and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, go on. Have you got a question, Toby?
No, I was just going to say we're actually talking to Dre at Cookie Sale as well about getting them to come over and just talk a little bit about their platform at some point.
Yeah.
I was hoping to do it before we had the first AMA with a token listing on their platform, but it so happened that we got you guys in first, and I'm still talking to Dre. So
I was going to say, if you need any more context on that, I'm pretty deep with those guys. So just let me know afterwards or whatever. I can get you hooked up.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think it's about a done deal. It's just I've been away for 18 days, so kind of just been waiting for a time to sort it out.
Okay, yeah. But
yeah, sorry, carry on.
So do you want to talk a little bit more about the partnerships that you've got lined up? So I think you've got a couple more that you haven't mentioned. You did mention about Brew Labs doing your contract. Are there any other elements that you're linking up with them on?
Yeah, so we've got a ton of really exciting stuff with Brew Labs. So one thing that we actually, I'm glad that we figured this out before pre-sale, but we actually just did a redeployment of our token. Because we adjusted the smart contract to include a buyback model that Brew Labs has created. It's a pretty unique thing in the crypto space. I honestly hadn't heard of it, but there's a part of the transaction tax of RENTEEZ coin will be put into the buyback wallet, and it'll do daily buybacks. So, and RENTEEZ coin is going to be used on the NFT marketplace, in the rental space, landlords staking, unsay, all that stuff. So the use case is high, and it'll be buying back from that liquidity pool, and then it goes into a frozen wallet that the only function of that wallet is to every month it will replenish the staking pools. So we don't have access to it. We can't cash out of it. And so theoretically, what that's going to do is just raise that floor of the price over and over and over. And as it builds, that wallet will get bigger and bigger and create a supply and demand issue. Or not issue, but a good thing.
Yeah.
So
that's taken from the LP, did you say?
Sorry, say that again.
Did you say that's taken from the LP?
So so actually we need to update the website because this just happened. We just redeployed this last night. So there's actually, it's going to be a 9% total tax.
Okay.
And yeah. And so 2% of that 9% is going to feed into that buyback wallet.
Fine. Okay, so let's have a quick look at these taxes then. So it's 9% buy and sell, and are the rest of these percentages still correct?
Those are still correct. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, we've got 3% that's redistributed to all holders. So the vision behind that was we wanted to create something that landlords and people that aren't landlords and tenants would still get rewarded for holding the token. So that redistribution tax is distributed to all holders, and that's paid in the native token. 2% is added to liquidity. That's just trying to stabilize that price point because we do we do have that stop loss put in place, but we don't want to have to use it theoretically. You know, crypto is volatile and that's how it goes sometimes. But if we can contribute to that liquidity pool, hopefully that'll solidify that price point. And then the 1% for each, the marketing and development is, I think, pretty important for projects in general. So just to keep marketing and keep pushing forward.
Yeah, it potentially feels like the marketing budget is quite low, especially for the platform that you're building and the reach that you want or need to have. So do you feel like that's going to do enough justice?
Yeah, so that's going to be a supplemental thing. We've got marketing. Yeah, we've got marketing budget set aside from our revenue projections from the property management side. So yeah, the 1% there is more of a supplemental thing that if we need to, we'll pull from it.
Right. Fair enough. Okay. And then the LP, do you think this 2% is high enough when you're trying to create some stability for this staking?
Well, that was kind of a topic of debate as well. And we think the solution is going to be that buyback model. So as that buyback model grows and that wallet grows, it's going to, like you said, raise that floor. And I mean, you're talking about daily buys. So just, you know, I'm going to plug Brew Labs here a little bit. So their daily buyback model, they had, like yesterday was like a 68 BNB buy. And then today it's going to be like around 140 BNB. So we're talking some big buys here. And it's really starting to level off their coin. And we think that it's going to do the same, if not possibly more with ours. Yeah.
Okay then. So looking at just back on your team wallet, you said it's 6%. Are those tokens locked?
Yeah. Yep. So we've got a 6-month lock on ours, and that's going to be post launch. Obviously, they're allocated already, but we're going to lock them post launch for at least 6 months. But to be honest, the 6 month was more for perception than anything, because the founders, like I said, we plan on not taking any profits from the crypto side, just because we're not really in a position where we need it. Not to sound arrogant or weird or whatever, but no, that's why we gave us such a small allocation anyway, was because we just kind of decided, hey, we want this to be the best project that it can be, and us taking profit doesn't really help.
No, you make money from the platform, so it's counterproductive for you to start taking from the chart as well.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Cool. All right, let's move on to the pre-sale structure then. So have you had a private fund? Have you raised any money privately?
Yep. So we've actually had really successful private sale. And to be honest, we didn't spend a penny on marketing for the private sale. And we raised 200,000 in US dollar in the private sale. And that, just so you guys know, came from close friend, obviously, because we didn't spend any money on marketing. That came mostly from close friends and family. Again, a majority of that came from, I've got an actual group that I meet with that are investors, but they're kind of more than that. They're in it for the long haul. They're board members. They're, decision type makers. And they hold that 200,000 that was purchased is a majority of it is going to them.
Okay.
They are.
How many people have you got invested at the private stage?
We have, I believe we have 50 holders right now. And so again, some of those are smaller that were, some from our Telegram channel and stuff until we hit that cap. But I'd say about 30 of those are the close friends and family. But I think we have 56 holders right now total.
Okay. And what discount did they get versus launch price?
So it was a tiered system. So the very, very, very beginning ones, it was, let's see, it was so many stinking decimals. So 4 zeros, and a 5 to the first ones. And then it went up from there, and we capped it at 4 zeros and an 8. So the ones that were the earliest investors have a 1 year vesting schedule on it.
And how is that released? Is that monthly, or how does that work?
Yeah. So to be honest, with the ones that are a little closer to me, I've kind of created a flexible schedule, kind of how they wanted it. So I've got one guy that is having 10% released. So he's got a 60-day lock, and then he's got after launch, and then he's got a 10% release per month for the rest of the 12 months. I've got a couple people set up that way. I've got one guy that's 50% after 6 months, and then 50% at the 1 year. So it's kind of different models that I set up. But again, these are long-term holders. We just put those in place just in case.
Okay, but they've all got some level of vesting in there.
Correct. Yep.
Just on that note, it's an average of 4K buy-in, isn't it? Like 50 holders, 200K raised. Was there a limit on that, or was it just you can buy what you want?
Oh shoot, you kind of broke up for me a little bit. I missed part of that question.
Sorry, not sure what's going on. Yeah, so you got an average of 50 holders at the minute with 200K raised. So that's an average of a 4K buy-in. Was there a limit on the amount that people could buy at private?
Yeah, so we had some pretty big investors come to us. I had to be 100% honest, I had a guy that approached me and wanted to buy the entire private sale amount. 200K, and I'm like, from a startup business standpoint, that's really attractive. But from a healthiness of the project standpoint, we obviously can't do that. So the biggest buyer that we have, I'd have to look at the numbers, but I think we were somewhere around the 30,000 range, and that was one of our board members. So we were comfortable giving him that amount just because we know he's not going anywhere. And so, yeah.
You know what I'd like to see is like a an average vesting scale of that private funds that you've raised, that would be quite interesting to see, because I think quite possibly you've got a solid floor that you've built here with this private investment. But I'd like to see how how it's getting unlocked as an average, not for each holder, without be too much work, but kind of how much we can see the private sale being unlocked each month.
Yeah, and I would have liked to have had just one baseline vesting schedule, but I also wanted to take care of my members, just like anybody that the whole project goal in and of itself is to take care of the people that are using it, because so many times we get, I mean, you guys know, in this space there's so many scammers, so many rug pulls, so many honeypots, all that stuff, and we wanted to be a token that doesn't do that. And so our early investors, they all kind of had different ways that they wanted it, and so I tried to be flexible with that vesting schedule while still protecting the other investors as well.
Are these guys who privately invested people who are likely going to be using your platform? Like, have you lined up any clients so far?
It's about half and half. So probably about half of our board members will use it. The other ones just don't own rental properties. So, but no, to be honest, we've got, like I said, so Kyle's got his 96 doors. We've got, between all the founders, we're over 100 doors. Well, a decent amount over 100 doors ourselves. And then our beta testers, let's see, our beta testers have probably over another 200 or 300 doors as well. So we've got a pretty good base, especially from a use case standpoint for the token. If all those, I mean, say if only 50% of those are using the token, that's still, you're talking tenant wise, you're talking, 300 or 400 people right there. So yeah, go ahead.
So I was just going to say on that note, like, how do you plan to make this more accessible for the general tenant, the general consumer? Like, how do you plan to convert them to use crypto in order to pay for their rent?
Yeah. So the actual paying for the rent is going to be on the landlord, obviously, because if the landlord doesn't want to accept it, then, you're not going to be forced to do it. But the ease of use is really kind of the angle that we're drawing on that. So basically how we're going to market it is, hey, you're making money on your rent from a landlord perspective. You're making money on your rent. Why don't you compound that by doing this? And it probably won't even be a huge like crypto type of advertisement. It's just a, hey, make money on your money sort of deal. And then from the tenant perspective, we're going to take the approach of like, hey, you've got this money that you're going to use for rent anyway. And one of the motivations that I have is I think banks are corrupt and I think they're evil and they steal your money. Just to give you a little background on that. But no, and they make money on your money. And so they're supposed to be paying it back to you, but we all get those bank slips at the end of the year. That's like, oh, you earned 37 cents of interest, and we want to change that. So if tenants have that money in their bank anyway, why don't they take it out, put it into our platform and actually make a little money on it while it sits there and waits. And so that'll be the approach we take with tenants as well.
It's cool. Are you going to plan to add an option to, paying RENTEEZ as well? I know because you talked about, converting it to USD, but if you've got if you've got a landlord who's happy to accept RENTEEZ and a tenant who's happy to pay in RENTEEZ, is there going to be any kind of incentive for them to just pay in RENTEEZ rather than convert into BUSD?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, one of the incentives is you get to potentially avoid that transaction tax. So like if you're a landlord that's already staking it and you get paid in RENTEEZ, you can just put that straight into your staking pool. So yes, we are going to offer that. The MVP product is going to have just a basic payment system until we get our wallet portion set up, which will be in early stages of phase 1. But just for the rental payment process, that'll start with fiat to begin with. But yes, we do plan on adding that option for sure.
Cool.
That's you're gonna have. It's gonna have to be super stable at that point, isn't it, for you to be able to, for landlords and tenants to want to pay in and accept RENTEEZ.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like anything else, right? So crypto is volatile, but we feel like we've put as many, including that buyback model, which is, pretty unheard of. We've put as many safeguards in place to protect against that volatility. We've even talked about some other programs as well, like say a rental assistance program that can be done through RENTEEZ coin. So Kyle has to pull me back sometimes. He's the stick with what we're doing right now type of guy. I'm the visionary that I could probably sit on here for an hour and a half and explain, any and all ideas I have, but we've got some future plans that we think is going to really contribute to that stability. So, yeah, we're pretty confident in it.
Okay. Let's look at the pre-sale then. So that's happening on Saturday and through Cookie Swap.
Yep. Cookie Sale. You can actually pull that up if you want. Cookiesale.io.
Must say, I like the look of the platform. It's nice and clean. Looks easy to use. So hopefully we're getting Dre in soon to talk about it a bit more.
Yeah. Go ahead and click menu on the left there. Sorry.
No, you're good.
And then Launchpad list. Dre won't even need to come in here. I'll just explain it to you. So Launchpad list on the bottom right.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Yep. And then we should have ours. Scroll down a little bit. So one thing with Cookie Sale, I don't know why this is, but it'll show that screen for a second. And if you just refresh it, it'll pop right up. And I don't know why it's done that. Oh, there's Brew Labs. Look at that. Oh, or not.
Maybe it's my laptop.
What kind of
Maybe
internet
you
you
have
got?
to connect your wallet.
Okay.
Oh, maybe. I guess mine always pops up because it automatically connects to my wallet. What browser are you on?
Edge.
Okay. Yeah, that might be a Dre question.
Yeah. Let's save him for answer them questions. We'll grill him when he comes in.
Yeah. So anyway, our pre-sales on there. It's April 2nd. We've got a and I don't know did we go over the specs of that? Like
no.
Okay. So a minimum buy is 0.5 BNB, maximum is 10. And then our soft cap is 250 BNB and our hard cap is 500. 100% of the funds raised in the pre-sale is going straight into liquidity. Again, we've got marketing funds, we've got development funds, so we don't need to pull from that. So 100% of the funds are going into that. And then those funds are locked for 365 days in Pancake Swap. So the first, we have ran some whitelist stuff. There's not very many whitelist spots. I think we've got like 30 total, something like that. And those will run for 1 hour when the pre-sale starts, and then it'll become public. So the whitelisters have an hour to get their buys in, and if they don't, then it goes public.
Okay. And there's no vesting within that.
For pre-sale buyers?
Yeah. Yes.
No, and there's a little bit of thoughts behind that too. We are going to launch in, like I said, mid-June, and we do want to try to get as much volatility out of there as possible by the time people are using it for its utility. And so for the pre-salers, we didn't put any vesting schedule on that.
Okay, fair enough. So looking at launch then, is the idea to kind of get this token out there so it's there ready, and then you're kind of going to work on the utility in the background of the platform and then start pumping in June? Or have you got plans in place, from launch, between launch and when the platform goes live?
Yeah, so we've got some kind of fun things planned between launch and launch of the token and launch of the platform. Like I said, it's about a 2-month, because we just hit April, right? Or we're going to hit April. So we got April and May, and then we're launching, like I said, mid-June. So 2.5-ish months. So a couple of the things, and I haven't alluded to this a ton yet as far as marketing ways. So the 24 participants here are getting kind of a sneak peek into what we're doing. But one of the things we're going to roll out is we are actually we have a bridge built to Ethereum. So it's going to be bridged probably in about a month, I'd say, after launch. So people will be able to buy in Ethereum as well, which we think that'll just open up a ton of people to buy in. And then we've got staking farms that we're going to be placing on Brew Labs. So people that are just waiting with their token can stake it in Brew Labs, as well as farming pools with them. And then,
will that be the staking? Will that be ready at launch, or is that due to come
not
a bit late?
Yeah, not immediately. Just because we had some hiccups with the NFT marketplace, and our focus was a little more on that. And so staking, it won't take long though. So I'm guessing probably 2 to 3 weeks after launch, we'll have that up and running. So yeah, that's kind of a on Brew Labs, but yeah, we'll have that up and running pretty quick over there. Yeah, and then our NFT marketplace we're kind of excited about. So we've got some different plans for that as well. So yeah, we've got some fun things between now and platform launch.
Nice. And when? So I never asked, when is the actual launch of the token? Is that straight after pre-sale?
Yep, directly after pre-sale. So we don't know what that's going to look like. If we sell in a half an hour, then we'll launch whenever Cookie Sale can get it up and running, which they said it would be immediately after pre-sale. So yeah, it depends on how much you guys buy.
Nice. Okay. Toby, you got anything else to add?
No, I think that was pretty thorough from both sides, mate. There's just a couple of questions from community so far in text.
Yeah.
So the first one was, is the team involved in more crypto projects, or do they have any experience of building and maintaining other crypto projects in the past?
No, to be honest. Well, I guess so the founders are not the dev team is. So the Think 2099, I think I mentioned this before. They created Yellow Card, which is the like basically the only crypto wallet in Africa. So that's our dev team, and they've got experience in that regard. So, but no, this is the founder's first crypto project.
That's cool. And the other one was from one of our own moderators, Omar. He's basically said, is there any chance of a sneak peek of the beta platform?
Ooh.
Good question.
Yeah. I could, well.
Are you able to share screen and give us a sneak peek?
No.
You know, I've got some things. Yeah, that's a good question, but I probably not yet. It would just be basically a Figma file that I could run through, but no, I would want to put it a little better presentation. I know it's a sneak peek, but nice try, Omar.
Buddy.
Yes, so that's it from anyone in the text. I don't know if anyone else has got any questions in the VC, Mark, or if you've got anything else.
I do, Toby, if that's okay.
Of course.
Go for it, mate.
All right. So I actually have a scenario, and then you can actually help me understand how this plays out. So let's say that I am a tenant. I want to convert overdue RENTEEZ, and I want to pay my rent with this, right? But I want to buy it at the beginning of the month. So I pay a 9% tax on that. And then let's say something crazy happens in the market. We go to war somewhere. Now you're allowing for a stop loss. So I'll be at a loss. And then another 9% to sell to get me back to fiat to pay for that. So now I'm at nearly a 20% loss from what I put in to be able to pay my rent. Is that correct?
So tenants, and I guess we didn't touch on this, tenants that are staking, and this kind of reflects the tenants typically aren't going to be able to afford that. Tenants that are staking and unstaking and converting that rent for rent payment won't be charged that tax. So we have what's called, what do we call it? I believe we call it a golden hour. So we have a golden hour function built into our smart contract that we can assign particular wallets or particular times that are alleviated from that tax. And so that was our plan with tenants, because we had that exact question, David, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Because you're right, like you're sitting at 18% that you've been taxed on, you know, maybe the market does go down, and so now you're kind of screwed. And so they will be, tenants that are staking will be alleviated from that tax.
Right. So my other question to follow up with that specific thing is, so that golden hour won't be an even kilter playing field for everybody. It'll only be for renters. Is that correct?
So it'll be a manual implementation on that. So it'll kind of be used as to be honest, like a marketing ploy. So, or not a ploy, but a marketing avenue. So, you know, we'll get on our Telegram, we'll get on our Twitter and things like that and say, hey, we've got golden hour coming up where, you know, taxes are alleviated for everyone starting at 7 p.m. You know, and we do a big push for a buy at, stuff like that. So I'm sure you've seen it.
I thought that you had said that it was going to be for specific wallets and stuff, but you're saying it will be for everybody during those golden hours.
During the golden hour, yeah. We just have the smart contract capabilities to alleviate that tax for specific wallets. So we'll be able to do that for tenants.
Right, that's typical in most contracts to be able to alleviate that. My other question is related to the landlord side. So I'm a landlord. I have 50 doors that I want to add onto your platform. And now I'm collecting my rent payments and RENTEEZ, and I have it all staked and everything. But now here it is at the end of the year, and I need to be able to show that income on my taxes, especially if you guys are from the US, you'll understand this. I need to be able to show that tax. Now I'm having to pay short-term capital gains on something that I would have typically either accepted in cash and hidden in my IRS taxes, right? Or now I'm going to have to sit there and pay double tax on it. Are you following?
Yeah. So first of all, I have to, I have been on 16 AMAs now, and not a single person has asked me that question. And so thank you 1,000 times.
You're only going to get questions in this group, buddy.
Perfect. I like that. No, I mean, those good questions make us better, right? And we've had some along the way, but no, that's a good question. So first of all, I have to throw a disclaimer that I am not a tax expert, blah, blah, blah. I'm not giving you tax advice, whatever. So yeah, you're right. There are tax advantages and disadvantages for dealing with crypto. So, the way that I have understood it from my CPA that I've talked to, and this is why you always kind of see at the end of the year, people will sell. So if the market's down at the end of the year, they'll sell their crypto and then rebuy in the same position after the first of the year. So it's going to show at a loss for that sale. So theoretically, just depending on what the market is, you potentially could be in an advantageous position as opposed to a non-advantageous. Now, you know, all that to be, go ahead.
I can actually help you with this and everything. And I think it's very important for you guys to look at it, because I don't want you to keep rambling on. There are 3 different ways that you can file your taxes for crypto. One, and whatever one you start out filing, you have to continue that. There is no changing it, right? Without having to go through a bunch of legal documents and do whatever. It's first in, first out. Or you can do last in, first out. Or there's a more complicated workaround to do a combination of both, right? In U.S. taxes, right? I've dealt with this for many years and everything, being in this space for over 12 years. So I just think that people should be aware of that and everything. I am behind your product. I think it's a good concept, and I think that a lot of people are going to be willing to take advantage of this, but I think all the fine details of this need to really be worked out and a way to bring it into the crypto space, because I think it's great outside. I think it needs to be fine-tuned to bring it into the crypto space.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that's probably, admittedly, that's, there's a lot of other logistical things that need to be done here, and probably people's tax implications, we've left a little bit more on them than on us. And so, yeah, I wouldn't mind if you DM'd me after this, and we can chat about it some more for sure. I appreciate your input.
I'll leave it at that. I will tell you, I'm super busy. If you would like to message me, I do respond to everybody within 24 hours. I know the guys here are probably tired of hearing that already from me. But I am super busy, but I do try to get back to everybody that messages me within that 24-hour period. So just shoot me a message, buddy.
Okay. Thanks, David.
Yeah, good questions, David. It's actually one of the runs I'd written down, but I didn't, for some reason, pick it up. It was about the tax implications. So, yeah, thanks for that.
It's fine. I just seen it on your screen share, buddy. You forgot to turn it off.
If anybody else has got any further questions, feel free to put your hand up and we'll unmute you, or ask away in the chat and we can get anything asked for you that you want.
I want to know what this duck race thing was.
That'll be coming in a minute. Go on, sorry.
How do I get in on that thing? Do I have a duck?
You can have a duck if you want one, man. we can give you a duck.
We can give you a RENTEEZ branded duck.
Ooh. Now you're talking.
Before we get into that, I don't think there's anybody else with any final questions. So there is always one question that we like to ask here at the Legit Crypto Lounge, a final question that we like to ask. And for us, the long-term success of a project can't be achieved without your vision. So my final question to you is, at what point does this project become a success to you and your team?
Oh, that's a good question. So to be 100% honest, I sat down with I'm glad you asked that question, because I actually sat down with a Vietnam vet. He's an older guy and just a very intelligent, wise man. And he kind of asked me the same question, like, what's your end goal with this? What would make you happy? And we've got so many private investors, and we've got so many close friends and family that are into this. And to be 100% honest, me and the rest of the founders, the other two founders, we think that crypto is the future. We think that decentralized finance is the future, and we feel like we're bridging the gap in one avenue with that. And if I can create this project that is a sustainable way for tenants and landlords and anybody else that wants to use our token make money and get away from the banks and get away from your typical way of living, that in my head is a success for me. I'm not necessarily concerned about numbers. I don't really care if I'm a millionaire or not, or whatever. That doesn't really interest me. I really just want to see people make money, and live comfortably and do the things they want to do. So life's too short to worry about money. And so if I can help people along that path, then that's my end goal.
Perfect. Nice answer. I like it. What I've just realized is that within the pre-sale structure, we didn't talk about whether there's a discount on that versus the launch price. So you mentioned about private, and it's started at 0.00005 and went up to 8. What's the price at pre-sale?
Pre-sale is 3 zeros and a 1. And then so it's, I don't know the exact decimal number on this one, but with 1 BNB in pre-sale, you get 4 million RENTEEZ coin. And with 1 BNB at launch, you get 3,800,000. Okay. So it's a little bit of a discount. I don't know the exact decimal on that.
Yeah, cool. Slight discount, like a 5% discount. Is that
something like that?
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think that's everything from me. Toby, you've got anything last minute to add?
No, that's it from me, man. Good AMA. I know you guys are KYC with Cookie Sale, aren't you? And obviously, yep, judging by the website, you're fully doxed. So just make a point of saying that.
We're an open book. I honestly, I actually really, people might say this, but I actually really appreciate questions like what David said. Like if you can stump me, then more power to you. I actually enjoy that. So get on our Telegram, ask us questions, message me, tell me how much you hate our project. That's fantastic. And we'll just have a conversation. So
great stuff.
Okay, so to be clear,
okay, go David, go.
I just want to say, to be clear, before you wrap it up and everything, I do not hate your project, right? I think it's a good project. I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. I think it's a unique idea. I think it's great outside of crypto, and I think it could really make a difference in crypto and everything. Like I said, the concept is great. I just think it needs a little further development and everything, and I think you guys will be just fine.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
Omar, did you have something?
Yeah, I have a small question. I don't know if we asked this before. It's about the stacked tokens. Do holders will get reflections for that, or they will not get reflection if they stack?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually a good question too. I'd have to look at the staking contract that we run with Brew
I think
Labs.
also,
What's that?
I want to add something to this question also.
Okay.
The team wallets will be locked?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're locked for 6 months post launch.
Yeah, I want to ask also if they will get reflections. Because when you look these wallets, they don't get reflections, right, David?
As far as the Oh,
yeah,
go ahead,
so I
David.
know Brew Labs has worked on a lot of those things, being able to do contracts where even though that they are locked, right, that they're still able to get the reflections. So I would definitely recommend looking at your staking contract. My guess it's probably going to be an auto reflection in your contract. To be fair, I haven't looked at your contract, but typically when you lock in your lockers, Pixel Locker, Team Locker, any of those, you're actually locked out of also receiving those rewards and those reflections. So I think your team tokens are 6%. So I'm assuming that is also weighted as well on the reflection. So the more tokens you hold, the bigger the reflections that you're going to get from that pool. So that would be another good answer or question to get answered. Is the locked wallets going to be getting reflected? And like I said, I know you guys are working with Brew Labs. I know they are working on a solution on that. I do know that it's not quite ready yet as well. So that's a good question to get answered.
Are you from Brew Labs, David?
Yeah, I'm not, buddy. I've just been in this space for so long. I know everybody.
Okay. No, so to be honest, we'll set up like our wallets however we can to not receive those, because like I said, we don't really care about taking profits on that or whatever. Like, so if we can set ourselves the most user friendly and best for the investor type of setup, then we'll do it. So we'll make it happen.
On raised another question from somebody else who's talking about the staking. Is there a period of time I can unlock it up, that you can lock it up, or can I take it out anytime? So are you doing like a public, like no lockup period, or are you doing locked staking?
So we've talked with Brew Labs on that, because they're going to be the ones hosting our pools, and so I think we'll have a couple of different pools where you can lock it for a longer amount of time and obviously earn a higher interest rate. But we'll have some different options for that.
Cool.
Nice. I think we're about there, Chris. Appreciate you coming along and sharing RENTEEZ with us. Is there any final statement you'd like to make?
No, like I said before, thanks for having me on, and just get on to our Telegram and ask questions, engage. We got a pretty fun group of guys and gals over there. So yeah, just come hang out with us.
Awesome, will do. Definitely. And good luck with Presale on Saturday as well.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks so much.